Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm gonna jump straight into the topic. What I'm gonna talk about today is how to avoid distractions while reading. I am going to be sharing what are my distractions and how I cope with all of these and try to finish the book that I'm reading currently. This is a genuine concern for a lot of people because they pick up a book and they're not able to finish it. Forget finishing it, even a couple of paragraphs, stretching through them also becomes like a big task. So I'm going to be addressing these one by one and hope that helps you in some way. The first distraction, as you may guess, has to be the phone. Now I cannot go without checking my WhatsApp once in a while either. Actually, once every 2 seconds. One thing, when I'm reading a book that I really want to read or I have to finish, and I have to finish it in a finite span of time, what I do is I put it on airplane mode and put it somewhere in my kitchen or somewhere around in the hall, or a place where I don't frequent often in the house. That sort of, first of all, I'm a lazy bum, so I'm not gonna get out of the bed with once I'm into the book. I'm not really gonna get out and take special efforts to go and check WhatsApp every couple of seconds that I regularly do. I also understand that there's this urge, this constant need to keep on checking your Instagram feed or keep on checking who's asking after you. Well, I mean, I'm not that popular, nobody asks me.
Yeah, that got personal.
Or put it somewhere on a charging plug that is away from your bed or away from your reading spot, essentially. Another thing that you can do if you are absolutely inseparable from your phone is this is something that I used to do when there was no no Insta, no WhatsApp, when we had those Nokia 1100s that were used only for call, SMSs and self-defense. I used to give it away to my mom. Not that my mom has ever said no, that you won't get your phone back. When I give it to my mother, and just for safekeeping, she's going to keep it. For me, there is always this intrinsic fear of going and asking for my phone back until I finish my book. So what I'm thinking is, once I've started reading and the book is interesting and all, and sometimes you're just like I still want to check my phone, you're actually inevitably going to end up finishing the book. At least that's what happens in my case, because I do not want to go and face my mother and my mom will be like, what, half an hour and you need your phone back. Another way that I believe works is that when I'm traveling in the train and all of that, that is one time where maybe I'm in a crowded place and I cannot open my Kindle or my physical copy of the book and start reading it, which is when I have music in my ears and my phone in my pocket or my hand, and from my pocket to my face is the only access that I have. Welcome to Mumbai. But when I have that, I have the Kindle app on my phone. If not that, I have a couple of other apps as well. What I use is Aldico, which downloads, once you download an ebook on your phone, it's able to, it's an ebook reader essentially. So it can read your ebook, PDF, the AZW3 files. There are several other apps like Aldico that you can use and install on your phone and start reading on your phone. Sometimes I just want to finish the story. I just am so into it that sometimes I cannot carry my Kindle, sometimes I cannot carry the book if it's too heavy, which is when my phone comes to the rescue. So it's not all the time that the phone is the evil here. Of course there will be WhatsApps and everything in there. In that case, sometimes I go on airplane mode and do it. Even if it's not that, even if you're able to even read 4 or 5 pages at a time, even on your phone, I think that's a victory, having that much of an attention span. The next distraction is, well, no prizes for guessing. It's Netflix. I have been an incorrigible Netflix addict. My addiction was so bad that I went for an entire year without reading a single book. It did come to a point where I started watching shows that were based on books, and it made me realize how much I missed reading. What I do to sort of balance Netflix and reading is I look for book adaptations. There is no standard rule that books have to be read before watching the movie. You can also do movie before books. For those who are not used to reading, this really helps. So say you want to really get into the Harry Potter series, or you want to start reading maybe Twilight, and as controversial as that opinion might be, watching the movie first will help somebody who is a non-reader or who's not a frequent reader get pictures of the characters in their head and then go ahead to reading them. It becomes much easier a task for them, is because you have a face to a name, right? When I say that you can watch the movie or the show first and then go ahead and reading the book, by that I mean there have been so many hit shows that were based on books. Say, take a Sacred Games, take a To All the Boys I Have Loved Before, even something like a Bareli Ki Barfi, which is one of my most favorite movies of all time. But all of these are based on books, and when you see that beauty, just come out on screen, uh, you really want to go back and understand the text that was written by the author, the intention that it was written with, and there's a lot more depth in that sense. So there is literally nothing wrong with watching it first and then heading to books. And another way that Netflix as a distraction can be sort of utilized is you watch one show and you finish one book. Watch one show, finish one book. I think this can be sort of a fresh change for everyone who's not a hardcore reader, but really sort of enjoy some light reading. The next distraction that I'm talking about is a rather tricky one, because I am not as much into it. I'm talking about games. Uh, yes, I have had a little bit of brush with mobile gaming, Candy Crush. Uh, but apart from that, I've not really ventured into gaming as such, as much as I would really want to. I'm interested in knowing more. But that being said, for games, I have a couple of friends who are, say, addicted to a Candy Crush, or be it a PUBG, or be it something like an Assassin's Creed. It does not matter what game it is. Gaming essentially is also a part of storytelling. It's just that they do it in different manners, especially the larger games, the Xbox and the PlayStation ones. Those are really well made games. Some of them are also based on novels and literature. So for that, I think the only one suggestion that I would have, and that I have also used once, is something called as reinforcement or operant conditioning, as it is called in psychology, I guess. What can be done is you finish a book, or you finish a couple of chapters, and you play a game as much as you want to for the rest of the day. This does sound a little bit like studying, and reading in any way should not be a punishment. It should be something that you're willing to do. What I can say is that once people who are into that kind of gaming venture into books, will also relate and will also feel as passionate, I guess, about the characters in the book. Another way, I think, for those who really like gaming and want to venture into reading, is reading high fantasy books. Essentially, what I've seen in gaming is a lot of inputs in graphics and the world building, which also happens in high fantasy and sci-fi books. So a lot of people know about The Witcher being a game and being adapted into a Netflix series. Witcher is based on a book written by Andrzej Sapkowski, a Polish author, and of what I know, he sold the rights of this to a company to start making a game on it. Back in the day, Witcher was not as popular as it is, as it became after the game was launched. So Witcher earned its recognition through the game, but it was essentially a book that is pure high fantasy. The Witcher is pure high fantasy. I've just read the first part of the book and I'm looking forward to reading more of them. Brilliant book. I've not watched the show as well, nor have I had the brush with the game, but what I know, I think when I watch the show now, it's going to be a very different impact to what would have happened if I would have just given in and watched the show. So look at the way your interest in gaming lies. So if it is high fantasy and RPG, then you venture into something like say The Witcher, something like what Brandon Sanderson writes, the Mistborn series, Stormlight Archives, or something like the Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. these are the kind of books that you will actually enjoy reading, and of course there will be a little bit of challenges in terms of understanding your sort of attention thing that is happening over there, but here it is just to help you venture into the world of books. So I really hope that this helps. The last but not the least distraction that I'm going to talk about is existential crisis. Yes, this is a real thing. Staring into nothingness and just thinking about the concept of life and death and other things is a real thing. It so happens that even with me, I have a book in my hand and I'm staring at the ceiling fan or into nothingness, just wondering about life and existence and everything. So not that it's a bad thing. I think all of us have those moments. Now there can be reasons for this. Either the book is not interesting, in that case switch the book. Like, don't think twice that, oh, I have to finish this. A lot of us have closure issues, so they cannot help it, but those who can, then please go ahead and put it in your DNF pile. Like, you did not finish it, it's okay, the book was not good enough. If that doesn't happen, then there is another fantastic way to stare into nothingness and yet end up reading. Yes guys, I'm talking about audiobooks. You can stare into nothingness and yet gain lots of knowledge from it. I was reluctant into venturing into audiobooks, but I realized that when there are biographies, autobiographies, or sometimes self-help, I like to listen to them. Honestly, biographies are not my strongest suit. Autobiographies and everything, they don't interest me as much while I'm reading them, even if it is my favorite celebrity. So the last one that I heard was two of my favorite celebrities from Queer Eye, which is JVN and Tan Trans. Both of them have their autobiographies that they have narrated, and both of them are absolute firebrand. So listening to their life stories from them was something that I will always cherish and I'll always remember, and I really enjoyed those. So if you even like listening to stories, then please go ahead and download an ebook, and there are several apps that let you do that, and you can go ahead with that. There's Audible, there's Storytel, which offer certain days or weeks of free trial. You can try that. So that was it guys. I shared with you the things that distract me and how I had found solutions to go around them and deal with them. I really hope it helped you finish that book that you've been wanting to in the last 4 months. Feel free to reach out to me when you're distracted on Instagram. The Second Librarian is the handle, and yeah, we can discuss solutions on more of these distractions while distracting you on Instagram. Bye bye.